You know that feeling when you have set a goal, like something you really want, and yet no matter how many times you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, or this time I'll be consistent, you find yourself stuck. Isn't it frustrating? You have the dream, but what about the drive? It's like a wave that comes and goes. So what's missing? What's the thing that separates the people who crush their goals from the ones who give up halfway? It's not luck, it's not talent, it's obsession. Yes, I know that obsession gets a bad rap. People think it's extreme, unhealthy, or even dangerous. But here's the truth, when you're obsessed in the right way, it's the fuel that turns your wildest dreams into reality. It is what makes the impossible possible. And this is where Barou Shouei from the anime Blue Lock comes in. If you have watched Blue Lock, you know that Barou isn't your ordinary player. While others are busy trying to fit into the team or worrying about strategies, Barou is completely consumed by one thing, being the king on the field. He is obsessed with his goal of becoming the best striker, which we get to see in Season 2 of Blue Lock. Season 2 features a tournament between Japan Under 20 and the Blue Lock team, which is a highly anticipated event for fans. At the start of the tournament, Coach Igor Jinpachi selects the best players for the starting lineup, and the majority of the Blue Lock team's important players make the cut. But there was one decision that shocked everyone, including me, the exclusion of Barou from the starting lineup. Think about this, Barou, a dominant player, was forced to sit on the sideline and watch his team fight without him. His anger was obvious and his pride was wounded. However, it was this moment that revealed the true depths of his obsession. The game kicked off and Team Blue Lock initially took the lead of 2-1, but after halftime the tables turned. Shido led Japan's under-20s attack and the team stormed ahead with 2 consecutive goals. The score now stood at 3-2 and the Team Blue Lock was crumbling under the weight of despair. Isagi, feeling useless and defeated, approached their coach, asking for a solution. And here's where the story takes a twist. Ego made a gamble, one that only a mastermind like him could imagine. He called in Barou as the final substitute. As Barou stepped onto the field, something shifted and you could feel the storm building. Ego instructed him to abandon the game plan and instead devour everyone, both the opponent and his teammates. And if you have seen Barou, you'll know that he didn't need permission to do that. It was already his plan. From the moment Barou entered, chaos erupted. His obsession with being the best striker in the world drove his every move. He didn't care who stood in his way, friend or foe. He created havoc on the field, leaving both Japan Under 20 and his teammates struggling to keep up. But here's the thing, this chaos wasn't just reckless, it was strategic. It was Barou's way of showing dominance and his way of forcing the game into his rhythm. The climax came in episode 12 and it will live in my mind forever. The Blue Lock team was desperate to equalize. Isagi was on his way to score when Sai Itoshi made a calculated tackle. Rin steps in asking for a pass, but IQ intercepted, leaving the team in panic. Then, like a lion pouncing on its prey, Barou appeared out of nowhere. He charges in, intercepting the ball in a way that no one could have anticipated, and with relentless force, he takes the shot and scores the goal. The entire stadium erupted. Fans were on their feet cheering for the king. It wasn't just a goal, it was a declaration of Barou's obsession for greatness. Even after being benched, his drive never faded away. He knew that to cement himself as the best striker, he had to dominate the field in a way that only he could. He devoured Isagi and Rin, not out of hatred, but because his obsession demanded it. See, people love it when you say you are passionate about something. Passion is celebrated, it's fun, light, and everyone is rooting for you. But obsession, that's a different story. When you're obsessed, people might call you crazy. They will ask why you are pushing yourself so hard, and this is where most people stop because they care too much about what others think. But obsession is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's when you eat, sleep and breathe your goal. It's when your actions stop being about pleasing others and start being about what truly matters to you. And Barou is the guy who is obsessed with being the best striker. His entire identity revolves around his goal. And while others see his arrogance or his unwillingness to compromise, what he's really doing is chasing his goal relentlessly. He's not distracted by what others think. Rather, he's laser focused. That's the mindset you need to cultivate. But here's the big question. How do you develop this level of obsession? Is it something you're born with or is it something you can learn? The good news is it's a mindset you can build. And today I'm going to share with you 3 simple but powerful ways to develop this obsession and use it to crush your goals. So let's get started. Number 1. Use visualization. Now, what I want you to do is close your eyes and imagine yourself standing at the finish line of your dream. Maybe it's a stage where your name is being announced, or maybe it's just a quiet room where you are holding the fruits of years of hard work, a degree, a trophy, a business plan finally executed. Can you feel it? The feeling of accomplishment, the noise around you blending into a sweet hum. That's the power of visualization. It's not just daydreaming, it's a way to remind yourself why you started and why you need to keep going. Visualization is like creating a mental movie of your future and you are the star. However, simply picturing it once and then forgetting about it is not sufficient. For it to truly fuel your drive, you need to make it a habit. Think of it as a ritual, a moment every day where you step into the future version of yourself. Here's a practical way to do it. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, even if it's only for 5 minutes. Now sit down, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths and start building the scene. Where are you? What do you see? What do you hear? If it's a marathon finish line, imagine the colors of the banners, the faces of the people cheering, the sound of your heartbeat matching the pace of your feet. Now don't just stop with what you see. What emotions are you experiencing? Pride, relief, or joy? Allow them to feel you. And when it feels real, allow yourself to sink into it for a few more minutes. This isn't just a feel-good exercise, it is a scientifically backed way to keep your goals alive in your mind. Studies have shown that when you visualize yourself succeeding, your brain cannot completely distinguish between imagined success and real success. It prepares your mind and body to perform in ways that move you closer to your goal. Obsession demands that you think about your goal constantly and let it consume your thoughts in the best way possible. Visualization gives you a structure for that obsession. Instead of letting your mind wander aimlessly, it channels your thoughts into clear, focused picture of what you want. So close your eyes and picture your dream. Do it often, do it with purpose and let it fuel your drive. The vision you create in your mind is the foundation of your obsession, and that obsession is what will carry you to the finish line. Commit like your life depends on it. This is more than just a catchphrase, it's a way of life. When you're truly obsessed with your goal, it's no longer an option, it becomes a necessity. Let me break it down for you. Imagine you are at a crossroads. One road is filled up with neon lights. Your friends are laughing, the music is loud, and the night looks like it's unforgettable. On the other route, it's just you. It's quiet, maybe even a little lonely. You have your tools, your laptop, camera, notes, but there's no applause waiting for you there. Which one would you choose? Most people will choose the neon lights. It's human nature to want to be comfortable and enjoy life in the moment. But if you're serious about achieving your goal, you'll see that quiet, lonely path is where the magic happens. This is what grind season looks like. It's like saying no to distractions over and over again, even when it's painful. This kind of obsession often demands you to make choices that other people won't understand. They will ask, why do you work so hard? Or why don't you take a break? And their questions might make you second guess yourself, because honestly, who wouldn't want to take it easy for a while? But when you're truly committed, those sacrifices don't feel like punishments. For instance, during the last 2 years, I worked relentlessly on my YouTube channel. 2 years might not sound like a long time, but when you're pouring your heart into something and the results come slow, it can feel like eternity. My goal was to hit the 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. And while the goal might sound simple on paper, believe me when I say it felt impossible more times than I care to admit. There were days when my subscriber count didn't move at all. Days when I would spend hours scripting, filming, editing only to see a handful of views. The self-doubt crept in like an unwelcome guest whispering in my ear. Maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you are not good enough. To make matters worse, most of my friends didn't even know I had a YouTube channel. I didn't tell them not because I didn't value their support, but because I was afraid of their reactions. I wasn't ready to hear their doubts when I was already battling my own. So I kept it to myself and I let my work speak louder than my words. I spent countless evenings saying no to parties and casual hangouts. Not because I didn't want to be with my friends, but because my goal mattered more. I knew that for every hour I spent socializing, I was giving up an hour I could spend creating. And then as 2024 came to an end, it happened. I hit the 1,000 subscribers. I remember staring at the number on my screen almost in disbelief. The hours, the doubts, the sacrifices, they all came rushing back, but this time they felt worth it. That number wasn't just a milestone, it was a proof that obsessing over a goal pays off. This is why committing like your life depends on it is so important. It's not about being a workaholic or sacrificing everything for your goal. It's about making a conscious decision to prioritize what matters most to you, even when it's hard and even when it's lonely. And when you finally achieve that goal, the feeling is indescribable, and not just because you reached the finish line, but because you proved to yourself that you could. And then we come to the third way, and that is to fall in love with the process. See, it's easy to focus on destination, the trophy at the end of the match, the degree in your hand, the applause from the crowd, but the real magic lies in the process. Falling in love with the process is what separates those who only wish from those who actually achieve. Let's talk about Barou again. This guy isn't just playing football to win a match. He's living and breathing it like every second of his life. He consistently shows up for practice on time with no excuses. He's the first to sleep, the first to wake up, and the one grinding when everyone else is taking a break. Why? Because he understands something most people don't, and that is progress isn't glamorous. It's gritty, repetitive, and often boring. This mindset isn't exclusive to athletes like Barou. It applies to anyone chasing a dream. The beauty of falling in love with the process is what it relieves you from the constant pressure to achieve results. When you embrace the grind, every step becomes meaningful. Think of it like planting a garden. You don't get flowers overnight. You dig up the soil, plant the seeds, water them regularly, and remove the weeds. For weeks, there's no visible progress, and it may even seem like nothing's happening. But beneath the surface, the seeds are growing and the roots are spreading, and one day, without warning, the first sprout breaks through. The sprout is the result of countless hours of unseen effort, and that's precisely what falling in love with the process looks like. When you're in love with the process, you stop chasing shortcuts and start enjoying the work itself. You wake up earlier, not because you have to, but because you want to. You practice longer, not for immediate results, but because you believe that each repetition makes you better. You face rejection without fear, knowing it's just another step forward. Like Barou, you understand that discipline isn't a punishment, but rather a gift you give to yourself to keep moving forward towards your goals. So when you're chasing your dreams, remember this: don't focus on the finish line. Fall in love with the miles you have to run, the sweat you will pour, and the lessons you will learn along the way. In the end, obsession is the spark that turns dreams into reality. Like Barou, who faced doubt and judgment in season 1 for a while but stayed laser focused on his goal to be the best striker, you have to do the same. People might call you crazy, but that's the price of greatness. So when you choose to be obsessed with your goals, you will outwork, outlast, and outshine everyone else. So don't be afraid to be different. Stay committed, stay focused, and keep chasing your dreams with everything you have got. And one day you'll look back and realize your obsession was the key to achieving everything you wanted. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.